Welcome back. In this tutorial, we're going to see how we can add uncertainty estimates to essentially any generative AI language model. This includes models you might use via a cloud API or models you have running locally. This transforms language models into reliable, controllable models, and Reexpress 1 makes this incredible new ability available to everyone with just a few mouse clicks. Today we'll be combining the on-device model with a 7 billion parameter model from Mistral AI, which has an Apache 2.0 license. As their documentation notes, as we see here, the model itself does not come with an uncertainty component nor interpretability features, but we'll see we can easily add these capabilities with Reexpress 1. Our demo task will be predicting the correct answer from multiple choice questions. These correspond to questions from a wide variety of subjects at the high school and college level. Here's an example of one document from the JSON lines input file. A link to the preprocessed data is included in the video description. This includes a unique ID, the label, which is a number from 0 up to and including 3, corresponding to each of the 4 answer choices A, B, C, and D, and the document text that is taken as input to the on-device model. Now, unlike the sentiment example we saw in an earlier tutorial that only used the on-device model, here we also include the output of the generative model as attributes to the document. Here we include the output logits from the generative model. Appended to the output is also a one-hot representation of the prediction from the model. While not needed here since we have the output logits, we include this for reference and comparison since you might need to encode the output from your own model along these lines. Some commercial cloud APIs do not expose the log likelihoods or output logits, so including a categorical indicator as a one-hot vector is one approach in such cases. Okay, let's get started. So as always, once you have your data, there's no additional programming involved. Let's create a new project, and here we have 4 classes corresponding to A, B, C, and D. We'll choose the largest model, which is 3.2 billion parameters. We don't need a prompt in this case. And we'll go ahead and choose a directory and the file name. And let's just call this LM benchmark. And save. And we can create a new project. Next, we'll go to add to upload our data. We'll choose each of our files, calibration, choose a calibration as destination, add the training, and then also the eval, and selecting the eval data split. And that looks good. We can go ahead and upload. Great. Next we need to initiate training, so we'll go to the Learn tab, click Train. Here we'll select Batch, and we can use the default settings, and we'll also select the eval set so that it automatically runs prediction after training is complete. We can check that we have enough space and then click Continue, and now this is going to kick off training. I'll let this run here a bit and then I'll speed up the video, and then you'll see at the end here the total time that's taken. As we saw in the earlier tutorial, this initial stage consists of strategically caching the parameters of the model. This is typically the longest part of training, but once you've cached the model, subsequent updates to training are very fast. So if you change labels on one or more documents, you can quickly update the parameters of the model with a quick retraining. Okay, skipping the video ahead, the next step is to optimize the parameters of the model. And here too, the video is sped up, but this shows what the process will look like when you run it yourself. Now, once training is complete, model compression will immediately begin since we chose the batch setting. Once compression is complete, the prediction step is run. The prediction step will estimate labels for all the documents, as well as calculate feature importance and estimate uncertainty, which involves running a dense vector matching step. Now we'll go ahead and skip ahead in the video for the purposes of the tutorial, but we'll see that the whole training process, including all stages, takes around an hour and 40 minutes. Once training is complete, we can, if we want, inspect the training and compression graphs. If we see that something is not quite right after running the batch setting, we can always individually run either the model or compression steps for some additional epochs. And we can do this just by going to each of the individual model and compression tabs and clicking train at any point. Clicking compare, we default to seeing the training data split with the green points indicating correct predictions, red points indicating incorrect predictions. The overall accuracy on the training data split is 79. And let's also pull up the calibration set. So scrolling down, we see the calibration accuracy is around 76. Now, one thing I didn't mention before is that the training and calibration sets do also include some distribution shifted documents relative to the eval set. So pulling up the eval set, we see that the eval is rather harder to predict, with the accuracy only being in the upper 50s, which is actually pretty bad for a 4-class classification task. So this is a real problem just using the generative model, because if you have no reliable means of separating the high probability predictions from the low probability predictions, things could go totally off the rails and you would never know. But amazingly, with Reexpress 1, we can easily identify the most reliable predictions. As a starting point, we can choose select and choose the highest calibration or reliability subset of the data. Now, there aren't that many documents selected because it's a relatively difficult classification task. Recall that the overall accuracy was only in the upper 50s, but now we see that we can easily select the most reliable predictions. Now, this subset is in the upper 90s. We'll keep this video relatively short, but there are a lot of additional analysis capabilities. We can click to zoom, and then we can also pull up calibration set or any other data split for comparisons. We can additionally zoom on the calibration set, and we can click align x-axes just to make sure that we're always comparing the same domains. And so that's adding uncertainty quantification to a generative model when used for classification. A lot of companies and researchers have been working on this problem for years without much success, and that's why you see all the cloud APIs without these features. So we're really excited about being the first company to bring this to everyone. It doesn't even require any programming on your part. So that's it for today. More tutorials are in the works. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks.